Nationwide is an incubator for the government. An incubator for the government. Naomi Francis left on press secretary. Cecil Toms left on communication director for JUTC. Abka left on senator. Dennis Brooks left on communication director for JCF. It is an incubator for the Jamaica Labour Party. And that's why they like to spin things that we say. And I expect them to spin things this evening.
That's the comment that has drawn the ire of the country's Association of Journalists and Media Practitioners. In a two-page missive, PAJ President Milton Walker describes Dr. Campbell's rhetoric as irresponsible and dangerous. The PAJ President says for decades journalists from all media organizations have left journalism to work with government, statutory agencies and the private sector. The PAJ warned that Dr. Campbell's comments may potentially place nationwide journalists at risk of attack by partisan activists and supporters. It says the comments represent a grave assault on the principles of a free and independent press, which is a fundamental pillar of democracy. The PAJ says as the election campaign nears, politicians on both sides should exercise caution and responsibility in their rhetoric. It says Dr. Campbell ought to promote an environment where journalists can work free from reprisals. The PAJ is calling on the PNP General Secretary to retract what it describes as harmful statements. Meanwhile, Nationwide's Deputy Executive Editor George Davis, himself a former PAJ president, has described the comments as disgraceful and unhelpful. He says Campbell's remarks have declared open season on Nationwide employees and have effectively given PNP supporters free rein to see NNN staff as an enemy that should be treated accordingly. Davis has warned Dr. Campbell that his comments directed at a media house which reports the good, bad and otherwise of all actors within the political space in Jamaica only serves to lower the country's press freedom ranking. Jamaica this year fell 20 places in the World Press Freedom Ranking, plunging from 12th of 180 countries in 2022 to 32nd in 2023. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Hello JPU family, welcome to another episode. Guys, you just heard it. Dayton Campbell naming out journalists in the country on the political platform. That was in 2023. In 2025, Jamaica fell 2 places on the Press Freedom Index. Let us take a look over the years at where we were on this index and where we are today. Between 2015 and 2021, Jamaica was basically in the single digits, which was good. The lower you are, the better it is. The higher you are, the more threat you are to freedom of press. You can see when Jamaica got into the double digits was really in 2022, between then, and you can see an increase in 2023 when Dayton Campbell made those comments. And where we are today in 2025, we are at 26th in the world. Guys, ever since Rise United became a thing in the PNP, this is where you can see that Jamaica's freedom of press came under threat. This dangerous group within the PNP not only destroyed the PNP, not only became a threat to the PNP, but they became a threat to journalism in the country, which is very clear. Clear because the Andrew Holness-led government has been there since 2016. The only thing that has changed in our politics is that the Rise United movement overthrew the People's National Party. And they have a style of politics that is utmost dangerous and reckless. And they threaten our press freedom and by extension make Jamaica look bad. Hear what their communication director has to say amidst the Press Freedom Index decline.
The release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
Jamaica has slipped even further on the World Press Freedom Index, now ranked 26th out of 180 countries. That's not just a statistic. It's a reflection of something we are all feeling. A growing mistrust between the press and the government, and a creeping autocratic posture by the Holness administration. This is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate actions taken by the government to undermine the role of a free and independent press. Both Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon have used their official platforms to discredit reputable media houses and journalists, directing the public away from independent journalism and toward party-controlled channels. That's not just political messaging. That is narrative control. We've seen journalists publicly attacked or dismissed for asking tough but necessary questions. We've seen government members show open hostility to media workers. And instead of engaging with transparency, the government has tried to replace journalistic scrutiny with state-managed messaging.
Poor thing. The same way she didn't know Damian Crawford's portfolio last week, it's the same way she doesn't know what she's talking about here. It is so sad to see what the PNP has become. You know, I feel she was instructed by Peter Bunting to go out there and blame Andrew Holness, blame the government for the decline in press freedom. But that's not going to fly because we have the evidence. We have the evidence of Dayton Campbell naming and pointing out the journalists in the country on the political platform. We have the evidence of where the journalists went to the PNP's HQ and they were told to leave because they're wearing green and told that they would be graped and all those kind of things. They became a threat to the journalists in the country. So with that, there's nothing that they can say or do to put the blame on anyone else. And look at the very PAJ who came out and denounced Dayton Campbell's attack on the journalists. Now they're saying they're calling for greater access to public information, as if to say that is the cause for the decline in press freedom. When we stop and take a look at it, guys, look where Jamaica was in 2015. Between 2015 and 2021, we were not perfect, but we were one of the very few countries in the world that had decent freedom of press. Yes, that's something to be proud of. But how did we get from single digits to 32 and 26? It is obvious and it is shameful. And we need to start promoting civility in our politics to start with, and so that we don't have the Dayton Campbells among us trying to get into our parliament. This is what this platform has been about for the months and over a year since I've been here. And likewise, other vloggers out here who are preaching righteousness and truth and who are standing up to those who push out disinformation against our country, against the government, and those who attack the media and the journalists. Yeah. So if we continue to do that, we will win this fight. And our country will go back to single digits where our press has the freedom to practice. This is really shameful. And there can only be one person to blame, and that is the People's National Party. It is clear, no matter where them come out, come say, they are the cause. Guys, this is Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Make sure you're subscribed. Keep it locked here. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.